Hello and welcome to your final HEC-FDA workshop. I know, it's sad, isn't it, that this is your last workshop? But congratulations on completing the first 5. And I appreciate you hanging in there and watching all of the introductory videos. For your final introductory video, it will be brief to mirror the instructions provided in the workshop document. There are 2 goals in this workshop. The first is to test your knowledge about what you've gained from the first 5 workshops by providing basic instructions and then, if needed, providing hints for you to complete specific tasks, such as how to import water surface profiles. And the second goal is to have you become familiar with defining plan features, making plan analyses, interpreting results, and comparing with and without plan economic and performance data. And these are the main objectives for Workshop 6 to help you accomplish those goals. In order for you to evaluate the 3 proposed flood damage reduction alternatives, you will need to enter and edit the data that is required for those 3 plans, compute the stage aggregated damage, EAD, and equivalent annual damage, and compare the inundation reduction benefits and project performance. Here is a table overview of the 3 plans you will be entering in Workshop 6. The without project condition has already been entered for you for both the base year and the most likely future year. You will need to enter the data for Plan 1, Plan 2, and Plan 3. Let's take a more in-depth look at each of these plans one by one. Starting with Plan 1. Here's an overview of Plan 1 and all the steps you will need to complete. You will need to import the water surface profiles for Plan 1 for the base year and the most likely future year. Then you will need to create the exceedance probability functions from the imported water surface profiles. You also need to create the stage discharge functions from the water surface profiles. Again, making sure that you're selecting the correct year and plan. Then you will need to compute the aggregated stage damage functions for Plan 1. Then compute the EAD and equivalent annual damage for Plan 1. The instructions in the workshop are provided data type by data type. In other words, first you will add the water surface profiles for Plan 1, followed by Plan 2 and Plan 3. You will need to look at the assignments for the water surface profiles to check your work. Then you will move on to creating the exceedance probability functions for all 3 plans and view the assignments to check your work. Next, you will create the stage discharge functions for all 3 plans and check your work, and so on. Let's take a look at the overview of Plan 2, followed by Plan 3. In Plan 2, you will be using the global assignment copy. You will use the global assignment copy to assign the water surface profiles, the exceedance probability functions, the stage discharge functions, and you'll need to create a new levy for Plan 2, making sure that when you create the levy, you are on REACH SF9. After creating the levy, you can compute the aggregated stage damage functions for Plan 2. I encourage you to check the study status report to make sure your big 3 relationships have been assigned correctly before computing. Once you complete those steps, compute the EAD and equivalent annual damage. In Plan 3, you will also use the global assignment copy to assign the water surface profiles, the exceedance probability functions, the stage discharge functions, and also assign the levy to Plan 3 using the global assignment copy. Again, when you're using the global assignment copy, make sure you're using the correct selections for the plan and analysis year you're copying from and to. You just want to make sure you're not overwriting data. After you use the global assignment copy, you can compute the aggregated stage damage function. Before you compute the EAD and equivalent annual damage, I again encourage you to look at the study status report and make sure your big three relationships have been assigned correctly. Table 2 provides an overview of the functions used by Plan in Workshop 6. For example, Plan 2, when I said that you're using the global assignment copy for the water surface profiles, the discharge probability, the stage discharge, and the stage aggregated damage, you're using the without project conditions function. I want to reiterate that the workshop instructions are provided data type by data type. In other words, working through the instructions for all three plans, you will first enter the water surface profiles, followed by the discharge probability functions, then the stage discharge functions, and create and assign the flood wall levy for Plan 2 and Plan 3, and then compute the stage aggregated damage functions for all three plans. Once you've completed the data entry for all three plans in Workshop 6, you will need to review the results and answer the questions in the workshop. And that concludes Workshop 6 introductory video. If anyone has any questions about the workshop or HEC-FDA or anything, please go ahead and place those questions in the chat box during a synchronous workshop or review session, or you can add your questions in the HEC-FDA discourse category.